in high definition, where news comes first. This is WECT News at Midday.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Nikki Bussey in for Kim Ratcliff. And you know, it has been a windy morning so far. We have had a lot of reports of wind gusts blowing around. You can check it out right there on our battleship camera. You know, for more on how long we can expect it to last, let's go right over to First Alert meteorologist Colin Hackman.
It has been a breezy morning already this morning. We've seen gusts upwards of 33 miles per hour in Wilmington. It's going to remain like that for a good chunk of the day today as we continue to see the periphery of this upper level low move off toward the east. We are going to continue to see some very breezy conditions both here over at Wrightsville Beach. You can see folks being blown around. Not a lot of people out on the beaches as we have continued to see those wind gusts howling here in coastal communities, particularly along the Brunswick County coastline. Take a look at the current wind gusts there. 33 miles per hour at the airport, 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts at North Myrtle Beach, and 28-mile-per-hour gusts there at Oak Island. As the afternoon goes on, we do expect to see winds continuing to bump around the edge of this high, or rather edge of this low pressure center to our north. A couple of light showers into Duplin County at this hour. Snow showers across the Ohio River Valley. We'll be taking a look at that and show you what this all has to do with our forecast, when we'll see conditions warm up, and what Easter weekend will look like. I'll bring it to you coming up in just a few minutes. Nikki?
All right, thanks, Colin. Well, to keep up with the weather, WECT has you covered. Just download the WECT First Alert Weather app to get the up-to-the-minute forecast anytime, anywhere, right there on your smartphone. Pretty easy to do. We do have some new details on an 8-year-old who died on her way to school last year. Jemiah Batts had cerebral palsy and died when she arrived at Rachel Freeman School of Engineering. Now, to this day, no one has been able to explain what caused her death, but WECT has learned there's a pending fatality review on this case, which means local officials will discuss what could have been done to avoid her death. According to the Wilmington Police Department, those involved want to hold off until pending litigation in the case is settled. So far, WECT has not been able to find any lawsuit on file pertaining to Batts' death. Well, the town of Burgaw has named a new police chief. Captain Matrina Sutton will now serve as the new chief of the Burgaw Police Department. She's been in the department for the past 4 years and has over 20 years of law enforcement experience. Sutton graduated from Mount Olive College in 2008 and attended Wallace Rose Hill High School before that. Secretary of State John Kerry made a surprise visit to Afghanistan today. This is Kerry's first visit to the country since becoming Secretary of State. But as a senator, Mike Tiabi reports Kerry traveled to Afghanistan several times for meetings with officials.
It's the first visit to Afghanistan for Secretary of State John Kerry since he succeeded Hillary Clinton as America's top diplomat. On the agenda, a meeting followed by a joint press conference with Afghan President Hamid Karzai, with whom the U.S. has had a somewhat strained relationship, especially in recent weeks, following charges by Karzai that the U.S. is actually working in concert with the Taliban against Afghan interests. Criticism aside, it's been a good week and even a good day for Karzai, setting up the meeting in a somewhat positive way. Earlier today, there was the formal handover, something he's been demanding for months, of the U.S.-run prison at Bagram Airport to Afghan control. Karzai seeing that as an emblem of Afghan sovereignty, the U.S. insisting on having a say, if not the determining say, on whether high-value or high-risk detainees would be involved in prisoner exchanges or that they wouldn't be released. Karzai also got some final details ironed out for the withdrawal of U.S. and coalition special forces from troubled Wardak province just west of Kabul, something also that he's been demanding for several weeks. Mike Taibbi, NBC News in Kabul.
Well, marriage equality is taking center stage at the Supreme Court. Despite snow and freezing temperatures, people have been camping outside the High Court since Friday, hoping to get inside for this week's session. And justices will hear arguments on Proposition 8 tomorrow and the Defense of Marriage Act on Wednesday. A recent poll suggested more Americans now believe that same-sex couples should have the right to marry. The U.S. Supreme Court is adding another case to its examination of affirmative action. The justices will add a case about Michigan's effort to ban consideration of race in college admissions. The justices are already considering a challenge to the University of Texas program that takes account of race among many factors to fill remaining spots in its freshman classes. The Texas case has been argued, but not yet decided. Well, it's no longer a secret. The sole-winning $338 million Powerball lottery ticket was purchased at a liquor store in New Jersey. However, the lucky winner has yet to come forward to claim the jackpot. The lump sum payout is about $221 million. It is the fourth largest Powerball jackpot prize in history. Lottery officials in New Jersey made the announcement this morning.
We don't know who the winner or winners are at this point, but I will tell you that, contrary to what you've been hearing this morning, which was totally unofficial and not from us, the winning ticket was sold at Eagle Liquors in Passaic, New Jersey.
Now, by the way, the chance of matching all 5 numbers and the Powerball number is about 1 in 175 million, so slim chances there. Well, the Ellis Island Immigration Museum is not going to reopen at least until 2014. The National Park Service says Hurricane Sandy brought up to 8 feet of water onto Ellis Island, and the site is still without power. Now, the museum houses the stories of millions of immigrants and contains all kinds of documents, photographs, and other artifacts. More than 1 million of those items were moved to storage facilities because of the storm. A massive wildfire in Florida that forced thousands of people to flee their homes is now about 90% contained. Now, the fire broke out in Fort Pierce, that's about 60 miles north of West Palm Beach. About 2,500 residents were told to evacuate as the fire grew to 125 acres. They were able to return home last night. Several homes and power lines were damaged by the flames, so many are still without power. Well, still to come, an update on the highly publicized Amanda Knox trial. We'll tell you why her case is once again in the public eye. And teens across the country are gearing up for their high school prom. And for many young women, that includes visiting the tanning bed. But we have a warning. And as we head to break, here's a look at your midday stocks. Both the Dow and the NASDAQ are down.
You're watching WECT News at Midday.
We are expecting a verdict today in the appeal by prosecutors in the Amanda Knox case. It's been 6 years since the case began. The college student from Seattle spent 4 years in jail, convicted of murder, and was then acquitted in 2011. Now, as Michelle Kaczynski reports, the prosecution is asking the court to overturn that acquittal and try Knox again.
And the case continues again. Amanda Knox and her then-boyfriend Raffaele Sollecito, who was also convicted, then acquitted of Meredith Kercher's murder, do not have to appear in the Italian Supreme Court for this latest twist. Amanda, since her release from prison in 2011,
thank you for being there for me,
has picked up her studies again in Seattle. But prosecutors now want the court to set aside her acquittal by the appeals court and try this case all over again.
The only way the evidence could be characterized was absent, non-existent, inconclusive, and unreliable, and revealed that a monumental wrongful conviction had occurred.
What little DNA evidence there was that prosecutors said could tie Amanda and Raffaele to the murder was later found to likely be the result of contamination. Still, prosecutors are saying that the judges who acquitted the pair made a mistake.
They will be arguing that the evidence presented was overwhelmingly in favor of a conviction.
That is a tall order, not expected to make it past this hearing. If it did, though, Amanda's attorney says she and her family will comply with the law.
The court should decide today whether or not it sides with the prosecution, but might not announce it today. Remember, Amanda was also convicted of slander for saying that police mistreated her during the investigation. She's considered to have already served her time for that, but the court may choose to overturn that conviction. Back to you.
All right, coming up, Colin's going to have a full look at weather and the breezy day we're having. Find out how long the winds will last next. But as we head to break, let's take a look at the fish and game forecast.
This is meteorologist Colin Hackman with your First Alert weather.
Fix the hair after sticking my head outside for a second there. Wind, it's blowing like crazy out there. It's one of those days you have to have 2 hands on the wheel. You also have to make sure that all of your stuff stays with you, because it's real easy to get things away from yourself, like your hair. Look at the wind at the top of the Diligence, Coast Guard Cutter Diligence. We have 30-mile-an-hour sustained wind speeds. We're going to take a wind tour here for you. We're going to look at a couple other things as well, but I wanted to start off with this image of the Diligence. It is blowing like crazy out there. Let's go and examine some of these anemometers from across the area. 25-mile-per-hour gust out of Lumberton, 22-mile-per-hour gust out at Whiteville, 27-mile-per-hour gust there at Charlotte. We've seen sustained wind speeds at 30 miles per hour for a while now. Then along the Ocean Crest Pier, 33 43-mile-per-hour gust here right along Wrightsville Beach. We've seen some pretty potent winds as well. These numbers down from an hour ago where we were up into the 30s there as far as the wind speed and direction out of the west. 38 miles per hour, 5 miles offshore with westerly winds bumping up to about 43 miles per hour. That's near tropical storm force gusts. We're getting there, and we'll see those conditions continue to be pretty rough as we move throughout the afternoon. That's one part of the story. The other, average high temperature that's up here. I'd like to do a little graphing for you here. This is what we'll see for the remainder of the afternoon. Well below normal, and if you think today's any different than the next several, unfortunately, it's not going to be. We're going to continue to see cold conditions here across eastern North Carolina. Here's a look at the satellite and radar together. This is why we left that 20% chance of precipitation in the forecast. Very few areas will get any rain at all. In fact, it's sunny skies from about Burgaw south. You can clearly see that on the visible satellite images. Even in some of these spots where it looks like there's a lot of cloud cover, there are still some big breaks over Elizabethtown, then back south toward Whiteville, Tabor City, seeing mostly sunny skies, a little pocket of dry air, trying to filter in there from Greensboro back off toward Winston-Salem, and then down toward Columbia, South Carolina, also dry conditions. It's all part of the big upper level low that continues to churn through the middle of the country. Cold air wrapping around this. That's why conditions are just so cold, and since this is tracking due east slowly, we're going to maintain that cooler air as high pressure builds. High pressure will allow more cold air to roll in here around the north side of things. And so for the next couple of days, highs in the mid-50s and breezy conditions. Not quite as breezy as today, mind you. Winds will subside tonight, but that'll allow temps to drop down near freezing. Freeze watch in effect for all of southeastern North Carolina tonight into early tomorrow morning, with our high temperatures not even getting to 60 on Tuesday. Wednesday, I don't think will be a lot different. The good news is the winds won't be as potent, but overnight lows still back down into the low 30s. That's normal for January. Highs back up into the mid-50s, also normal for the middle of January. Abnormal winds, they'll continue. Here's your hour-by-hour wind forecast. 4:30 today, still honking out of the west, 20 to 30 miles per hour. Finally, by about 8:30 or 9 o'clock tonight, that'll start to die out. We'll see winds return to 5 to 15 miles per hour. 58 windy and cold today. We're at 51 now. Some locations may not even get to 56 or 57. Interior spots, I think, will. Over at Hoggard High School, 32 degrees tonight, partly cloudy skies, freeze watch in effect for all of southeastern North Carolina. High temperatures tomorrow, 55 degrees, partly cloudy. We'll see a very cold start to the day, and that will help to keep temperatures down throughout the afternoon as well. 58, 55, 58, gradual warming here. We'll see a reinforcing shot of cold air on Wednesday as we move toward your Easter holiday. Temperatures do get back up into the low 60s. You have to remember, normal for this time of year, 69 degrees, nothing in the next 7 days, and no reason to think that out of the next 8 or 9 days we'll see temperatures at normal.
I don't like that.
I know.
Not a lot of people do on our Facebook page either.
I know. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Just prepare you. Sunglasses are going to be something that you'll want for the next few days, and chapstick.
Definitely with these winds. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, no. I don't, no. No more wind, please. No more cold. I'm just ready for sunshine, beach weather. I said this the last time I was with you, but I'm really ready for it.
Hopefully we'll have some for you.
Yeah, cross your fingers.
Yep.
Well, something that we're talking about right now, teens across the country are getting ready for their high school prom, and for many young girls, that includes a visit to the tanning bed. In today's Life Watch, Chauncey Glover has the story of one woman who started tanning for a school dance, and now she's lucky to be alive.
First started going tanning when I was a freshman in high school. I kind of just, I just wanted to get tan for, a high school dance.
Anne Goulet had it bad.
It was almost like it was an addiction.
As a teenager, she just couldn't stay away from the tanning salon.
I would, go every day for 20 minutes.
Until a trip to the dermatologist. At 19, Goulet was diagnosed with melanoma, the deadliest type of skin cancer.
I almost wasn't not that surprised or not that shocked that I was diagnosed, just because I knew, how much I did go tanning. And
teens and tanning, especially girls, is at epidemic proportions, with nearly 1 in 3 girls in the 12th grade tanning on a regular basis. Goulet is now 22, in college and cancer-free, but she's warning other teenagers not to make the same mistake she did.
It's becoming like the #1 killer for, young woman. It takes a person every hour, and it's not worth, losing your life just to have that tan.
And if you can't give up the bronze look, try sunglasses and sunless tanning products and spray tans. They're a much safer option than the tanning bed. And here's an incentive to use the Postal Service stamps that are like sweet treats. Find out where you can get some of that taste and smell. It's a lot like chocolate, and that's coming up.
Today on America Now.
A woman who had her purse snatched remembered all the right info to help police catch a thief. And see how play therapy is helping kids work out bullying issues. Get the information you need to know coming up today at 2 on America Now. And here's a look at what you can catch tonight on WECT and Bounce Wilmington. Well, relief at the pump comes in the form of 3 cents. Now, over the past 2 weeks, gas prices have dropped an average of 3 cents per gallon. Now, that's according to the Lundberg survey, which says the price of a gallon of regular nationwide is going to cost you about $3.71. Diesel is down 6 cents to an average of $4.07 a gallon. Now, the survey also shows that gas prices have dropped a little more than 8 cents over the past month. Now, from the road to the skies, good goes around, but not on Delta after you're dead. Delta Airlines has changed its frequent flyer program policy. It will no longer allow miles to be transferred upon death. Delta's former policy stated that once miles expire after a member's death, the executor of the member's estate could request that the airline reinstate the miles and transfer them to a relative. But as of this month, that is no longer the case. And from the skies straight into the cyber world, Facebook is adding weather forecasts to its event pages, public pages for things like parks and cities, leaving you with one less step when it comes to finding out what the weather will be like. So far, Facebook is carefully displaying the info in places on the site that make sense for users rather than cramming it into their newsfeed and making everyone nice and angry, like usual. Well, how about a little chocolate with your postage stamp? Belgium's Postal Service has issued a new series of stamps that smell and taste like chocolate. Perfume stamps have been made in the past, but this is the first time that letter writers will be able to taste a flavor when licking the gum on the back of the stamps.
And we had a lot of success. And this year we wanted to promote the chocolate, and we used this system again. And we have now, instead of having only the flavor, we have also the taste.
And more than 107,000 sheets are going to be printed and sold at a cost of $8.03 each. I love this idea.
Probably get a lot more people mailing things.
That's true, but I also like the self-stick ones, so you don't have to actually...
That's typically the way. Do they even sell licky stamps anymore?
I don't know where they do, but I mean, if they do, I would definitely get that one.
Chocolate flavored.
That's for sure.
Taking a look at the forecast for the remainder of the week. I wish I had better news as we hop into Easter weekend. Looks like we're going to see temperatures try to warm up a little bit, but we'll still start there in the low 30s. A lot of events happening this weekend. The aquarium having their alligator egg hunt. You have to pre-register by the 27th. Starts at $8, different levels of involvement there. And the sunrise service forecast, low 40s, mostly sunny skies for folks headed out to the beaches or the parks for those sunrise services. It's definitely going to be chilly for the rest of the week. There you have it.
Very, very cold week ahead.
Cold.
Compared to what you would expect for this time of year.
Yeah, 10, 15, maybe even 20 degrees below normal for this time of year.
Not good weather for running, or good weather for running if you don't like to get hot.
That's right.
True. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in at WECT News at 5. Have a great day.